Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. For today's class, you're going to need a massage ball. A tennis ball or a golf ball, lacrosse ball would be perfect. I have a massage ball that's two of them stuck together. If you have something like this, it's totally fine. You can use that. And then we also need a yoga block or a thick book. And this class will be a little bit more lower body focused. So to start, you're going to take your massage ball and you're just going to put it on the ground and start straight down the center of your foot, and you're just going to roll from the toes to the heel. And you're just applying a little bit of pressure as you roll through your foot a few more times. And the reason we're doing this is that I often, one, it feels great, it's great, it'll help you find a little bit more of your foot connecting to the floor, rolling on that inside edge of your foot, and then you're going to come to the outside edge. And I typically do this before class, and it feels great and helps wake me up, and I feel like I'm just generally a happier person after I do this. And so I decided we should absolutely start class by doing this. So one more time on that outside edge, and then come back to the center, and then you're just going to let your toes kind of spread over the ball, and your heel is going to drop. And then if you look down at your toes, you can see how they're like spread kind of gargoyle-y over the ball. And then you're going to keep the spread through the toes, through the metatarsals, and then you're going to roll it to the ball of your foot, so just behind your toes. And then come a little bit closer towards your arch. Left leg is nice and soft. You don't want that leg hyperextended. And then you're going to press a little bit farther forward until your toes start to find themselves spread on the ground. And then you're going to take a second here, one or two more breaths, and then come until it's all the way on your heel. Your toes are nice and spread in front, and then you're just going to roll a couple more times. If you had a spot that you noticed was particularly sticky, maybe the midfoot or closer to your toes, outside edge, inside edge, whatever, take a second and kind of go back and roll over that spot again. I'm going to do one more time, last one. Good, and then just leave the ball to the side, and then just take a second and stand, and then just nod your chin and look down at your legs, and just notice if they look a little different through the quads, if you feel a difference in your foot standing. My foot feels much flatter on the floor, whereas my left foot feels kind of like tight and pulled up. And then when you're ready, you're just going to switch to the other side. So roll that ball over, and then you're just going to start rolling again through the center of that foot. Maybe if your balance was a little off starting your day on that right foot, maybe it's a little bit better now that you are standing on your whole foot. Rolling through, going at your own pace. You can go nice and slowly through each roll. You can go a little faster, whatever works for you. And then you're going to roll on that inside edge. Again, right knee is not hyperextended. One or two more times here. And then come to the outside edge of that foot. Again, if your ball starts to roll away from you, just bring it back under you and think about putting a little bit more pressure down. Two more on the outside. Last one. You can come back into the center of your foot, and then just start with your toes kind of spread and curled over the ball like a little gargoyle. And then you're going to work your way, heels on the ground here, spreading those toes. Come to the center of the foot, and then when your toes find the floor, hang out there for a second. Again, pressing down, and then come to the heel, the ball pressing directly into the heel, and then again, rolling from front to back. Find your sticky spot, hang out there for a second. Ooh. And then a few more times. If you did stay local to one spot, make sure you get 2 or 3 good rolls through the whole foot, and then we will move on. Last one. All right, cool. So now you're going to come to sit down in a Z sit. So you're going to have your left leg, left shin parallel to the front edge of your mat, and your right shin parallel to the long side of your mat. You're going to take your ball again, and you're going to put it just between your outside of your calf, the fleshiest part of your calf, towards the top, towards your knee. And then you're going to lift your foot up, and then you're just going to roll back and forth on that outside edge of your calf. You can make the range of motion however big you'd like. Just think about sliding that knee forward and then sliding the foot away, opening through the hip a little. Not worrying too much about the rest of your body, just keeping that shoulder out of your ear. Last one. Good. And now you're going to take the ball out from under that leg. And now you're going to lift up your bottom knee. So your left knee. And you're going to put it on the inside fleshy edge, if you can see there. And then you're just going to bring that knee up and forward. You could stay in that Z-sit, but you may need to adjust the direction you're facing. Rolling forward and back again. Again, if you find a sticky spot, hang out there. This should be what feels good for you. One or two more. Last one. Good. And then from here, take that ball out. You come back into a more proper Z-sit. You can think about reaching your back leg back behind you. Reach your right arm up and side bend up and over to the left. Take a few deep breaths here. And then come all the way up. And you're going to switch your feet around. So we're going to start with the left leg, just like we were on. You're going to bring that ball underneath the fleshy part, underside of that knee. And then you're going to roll back and forth. And roll all the way down towards the ankle and all the way up towards the knee, but you're not rolling over those bony landmarks, just up and back in between them. Again, if you have a sticky spot, stay there. And then come back and forth a few more times. And at the end, we will finish with rolling out our glutes after we do a bunch of bridging. Good, two more. And then take that out. Bring it under the inner side of that right leg and then roll it up towards the ankle and then press it back behind you. And then roll it forward and back and forward and back. Maybe one side is more unpleasant than the other. Very possible. Do what works for you. Here. 2. And last one, come all the way forward and take that ball out from underneath you. And you're just going to place it out to the side for now. Come into a more a comfortable Z-sit. And then reach that left arm up and side bend up and over. Think about breathing in, opening up those ribs on the top side. One more breath here. And then come down onto your left forearm. Your block is going to stay close, but you don't need it yet unless you prefer to have it here to put your hand on. Your choice. Starting with the right leg, extend it out long. Your left leg is in a 90-degree angle. Your ankle is more or less at a 90-degree angle as well. Same with the hip. Right leg rather, reach it down to find that length through the waist. And then tap the leg down and lift it up. Tap it down and lift. And lift. Think about reaching long out of that leg. You want your leg out from your body as though you could stand on it if you were just to rotate yourself, 90 degrees to face. Upright. 2 more. Lifting that left side away from the floor. Last one, and then you're going to sweep that leg forward, reach the sitting bones back behind you, and then sweep it straight down underneath you. Sweep it forward. Your knee can also be bent here if that's more comfortable. Also, don't worry about the range. As long as you're bringing it forward, creasing at that hip, and then finding the hip extension, you're good. Hips stay facing forward and back. 4 more. then lower the leg all the way down. Give it a rest for just 1 second. When you're ready, reach long out of that leg and float it up. And then you're going to externally rotate and internally rotate. And external and internal. External and internal. Again, hips stay stacked, facing forward for 4, 3, 2, last one. And then draw a circle for 7, 6, 5. Left side is not collapsing towards the ground. 2, last one. Reverse, keep pressing that left leg down for 6, 5, 4, 3. Neck is nice and long. 2, last one. Bring that leg in. Keep your legs stacked. And then from here, you're going to lift your whole leg up and then place it down. Keep reaching that top knee forward as you lift and lower. That'll help you keep your hips square. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Tap the knee down and lift. Tap the knee down and lift. The foot is staying in the air. Yes, this will burn for 3, 2, last one. Tap the feet together and then lower the leg down and then open that leg up and down and up and down for 6. Just this little clamshell here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Lift. And then bring your legs more in line with your hips. They don't need to be all the way in line with your hips. You can have your bottom leg extended if you'd like. If not, you can come into a side plank with both knees stacked. You're going to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to lift the hips up, and then tap the hips down. And lift, and down. Hips stay facing forward, and if you're in this other version of a side plank, your foot is out. No real difference. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. And then reach the arm overhead. Now you're going to keep your hip lifted, extend your leg long, and bring your knee to your leg and extend. And knee to your elbow and extend. 6 more. 5, 4. You can hear the lovely sound of my dryer in the background. It is super loud today. 3, 2, and last one. Extend overhead, press the hips up towards the ceiling, get a nice stretch, let your head go, and then lower all the way down, and you're going to switch to the other side. Right forearm is underneath you, knees in line with your hips. Make sure you're all the way on the mat, this way it's not uncomfortable on the ankles. Knees, hips, ankles, all more or less at 90-degree angle. Hips are stacked. You can find a slight tuck under of your pelvis here if you need to find that to bring that knee forward so that they're stacked. You're going to lift your top leg and extend it long. Hips again, stay square. You're going to lower that leg down and lift. And lower and lift. Good. Again, pressing that floor away. Neck is nice and long. And lift. And lift. 4, 3, 2. Make sure you're breathing. Last one, leave it lifted. You're going to bring that leg forward, reach the sitting bones back, and then sweep the leg back, find the opening through the hip. And then sweep the leg forward. If you kick your block, just kick it completely out of the way, no worries. And back down. And forward. Again, bend your knee if you need. If that leg is bent, you're still thinking about moving from the same place in the hip to come forward, and again to come back. You have 3 more. 2. Pressing down with that bottom leg. Last one, lower that leg down for just a second. Bend the knee, let the glute release. And then when you're ready, you're going to pick that leg back up and you're going to internally and externally rotate. That rotation is coming from the femur. Your hip is staying totally still, and your foot just kind of follows whatever this upper part of your leg is doing. 2 more. Last one. Give your leg a rest for a second if it needs it. And then extend the leg long, and you're going to circle around for 6, 5, 4. Keep reaching through that top, or that bottom arm rather. Last one, and reverse for 8, 7. They don't need to be big, but your hips are staying nice and quiet. 4, 3, 2. Last one, bend that leg in, stack the legs one on top of the other. And then from here, again, find that little tuck in your pelvis if you need. Sitting bones reach down the underside of your thighs, and then think about sliding that knee forward from that action. You're just going to lift your whole leg up and then down and up and down for 6, 5, 4 more, 3. Keep pressing through that shoulder on the bottom side, pressing the floor away from you. 2 more. Last one, leave it lifted, internally rotate. So you're tapping the knees together by internally rotating from that left leg in the hip socket. 4 more. 3, 2. Make sure that knee hasn't snuck back closer to your torso. You want to keep those hips even. Last one. Close the heels, lower down, and lift in this clamshell. For 7, 5, 4, 3, 2 more. Last one. Good. Lower down. Bring those legs back behind you, or back closer to you. Good. Adjust yourself how you need. Knees closer to being in line with your hips. You can always extend that bottom leg, your choice. When you are ready, lift your hips and then lower, and lift and lower. 6, lower. Lifting them straight up. Make sure you can always bring a hand to your stomach, that your abdominals are not pressing out as you lift. They shouldn't be getting hard. You should be able to gently feel that engagement. 2, and last one, leave it lifted. Extend the bottom leg, reach the arm overhead, float the leg up, tap the knee to the elbow, and extend for 8, 7. Again, they don't need to meet. 5, 4 more. Keep pressing the floor away. 2, and last one. And take a nice big stretch, and then lower everything all the way down. Great. So now you are going to take your block with you, and you are going to place it in between your feet, and you're going to roll down. Good. From here, you are going to bring your legs up into a tabletop, and then grab your block. You're going to place it on top of your knees, and you're going to start with your knees in closer to your torso than 90. You're going to have your arms down by your sides, and then you're just going to extend your legs past 90 so that they're farther away, and then bring them back in. You can bring your hands behind your head, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up if you choose, and you're extending out, and bring it back in. And again, as you go out, 1, make sure you're breathing, but 2, make sure your abdominals are not pressing towards the ceiling. You don't want to see any of that puffing or doming. You can make your range of motion nice and tiny. 2 more. And last one. Good. Bring those knees in. Lower yourself all the way down, and then place the block in between your thighs. From here, shoulder blades stay on the mat. Press your feet into the floor, curl the tailbone under, feel the low back gently touch the mat, and then peel yourself all the way up into a nice shoulder bridge. And then curl yourself all the way back down. Good. Give that block a little squeeze. Feel the engagement through the pelvic floor as you lift. Feel a little release as you come all the way down. And then a greater release at the bottom. Little squeeze, feel the lift. And peel yourself up. And back down. 2 more. Last one. Good, pause at the top. You're gonna give that block a little squeeze from the inner thigh, feel the lift of the pelvic floor, and release. And squeeze, and release. For 10, 9, you're not releasing that pelvic floor all the way, you're just doing tiny little contractions from those inner thighs, same sort of motion. For 4, 3, 2, last one, hold that little squeeze. You're gonna dip your hips to the right and lift, and dip and lift. Keep reaching long through the knees, you're just rotating through the hips, the torso stays still. For 4, 3, 2, last one, over to the left, good, and square, and down, and square. Reaching the right hip up as the left hip opens to the side for 4, 3, 2, and last one, pause in the center. Good, from here, you're gonna lift your right heel up, lift your left heel, walk your toes back a little bit closer towards you if you need, and you're gonna lower your hips halfway and lift. Think about dragging those heels towards your glutes, even though they're lifted. You're trying to make that distance feel as small as possible for 4, using your whole foot. 3, 2, last one, drop the heels down, take the block out, and then curl yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time. Good, from here, you're gonna reach down and you're gonna place the block underneath your right foot. Your hips are nice and square, and your arms are by your side. Collarbone is nice and wide, and you're gonna press your hips up into a bridge. Just you're sort of lopsided because your right foot is higher than your left. You're gonna lower down and lift, keeping those hips nice and square despite the fact that your feet are at different levels. Good. For 4, 3, 2, last one, pause here. Put the weight into that right foot. Lift the left heel up. Extend the left leg long, and then bend it in, and extend it long. Hips stay square. They also keep the same distance from your torso. Your left hip has not started to creep up, and if it has, feel the left sitting bone reach towards your right heel to find a little bit of extra length through that left side. For 3, 2, last one, bend that leg into tabletop, tap the hips down and lift. Down and lift, down and lift. For 5, 3 more, 2, last one, lower that leg down, and you're gonna dip your hip over to the left and back up. Sorry, over to the right and up. Staying on that right side with the right foot lifted. More weight in that right leg than the left. Keep reaching your knees long for 4, 3, 2, last one, pause here. Peel yourself all the way down 1 vertebrae at a time. Bring your right foot to the outside of that block and slide it in towards your right foot. So now your feet are flat, the block is flat on its widest setting. And then you're gonna curl your tailbone up 1 vertebrae at a time. Find that connection through the inner thighs, through the ankles, squeeze the block, tuck the hips under just a little bit. And hold for 4, 3, try to find a little bit more space across your sacrum. 2, last one, and then keep that gentle squeeze on the block as you lower all the way down. Try to find a little bit more space through the low back. Good. And then slide that block on over to the left foot, place it down, right foot comes back in line with your hip, adjust the block whenever you need, and then when you're ready, lift those hips up and down, and up, and down, and up, and down. 6 more, 5, have a little bit more weight in that left foot, but the hips are even. Again, they're not just even, but they're square. For 4, 3, 2, last one, keep it lifted. And then you're going to float your right leg into tabletop. Extend your right leg long and bend it in. Hips stay still and in. Of course, if you need to lower your hips a little closer to the ground for more control, or this is more comfortable on your body, find the height that works for you. You can also drop your feet, or your hips all the way. For 4, 3, 2, and last one, bring it in. Drop the hips for 8, 7. Keep that right hip lengthening, or the right sitting bone rather, lengthening towards your left heel for 4, 3, 2 more. That foot comes down. Last one, lower your right leg down. Hips dip over to the left and up, and to the left and up. Right hip lifts and up. More weight in that left leg, making sure your legs aren't falling over to the left. It's really just the pelvis rotation. 2, last one, lift it up, curl the tailbone 1 vertebrae at a time all the way down to the floor. Bring that block in between your legs one more time. And then peel yourself up, pause where it feels good, and then give that block a little bit of a squeeze. Try to find that opening through the low back and bring yourself all the way back down. From here, arms press into the ground. Take a nice big inhale, exhale, float those legs up to tabletop. Grab the block and then bring it in between your knees one last time. From here, you're just going to give the block a little squeeze, holding your knees right above your hips, and then you're going to release and squeeze. Just focus here on deepening through the abdominals, finding that connection. Feel like your hip bones almost draw towards one another in the front for 10, 9, using your breath, relaxing your upper body as best you can. You can make cactus arms if this helps you relax, taking your chest out from gripping. 3, 2 more, and last one. And then bring your knees into your chest. Send that block off to the side and bring your knees in. Rock back and forth from one side to the other. And then roll over onto one side. And you are going to come with that block under one of your hands. I guess let's all start with it under our left hand. You are going to come into all fours. Tuck the tailbone around the spine up towards the ceiling. Take the abdominals with you. And then uncurl the spine. Find a little extension. One more time, curling the tailbone under around your spine towards the ceiling. Uncurl, find that extension. Lengthen your collarbone through your arms. Good. Find a nice neutral pelvis. And then from here, you're going to walk your right foot back, your left foot back. Find your plank here. If you would prefer to do this on your knees, by all means, go for it. You're going to point your toes, send your weight forward over your arms, and then send your weight back into your heels. Send your weight forward and back. Check in with your elbows. Make sure that they are not hyperextending. For 4, your abs come with you as you go forward. Your head is reaching like you're trying to peek over the cliff that is the edge of your yoga mat. 2, and last one. Good. Drop to your knees or stay on your feet, your choice. We're going to do 8 push-ups. So lower down and press up. 7. Your torso is coming down at the same rate as your head. Your head is not leading, neither are your hips. 3 more. Elbows gently back by your side. 2. Last one. And then come back into a little modified child's pose with one hand lifted and the other on the ground. And then come all the way back. And we're going to repeat that series. So slide that block over to your right hand. Find yourself in a nice cat-cow. So find that extension. Really think about widening your sitting bones. And then feel them draw towards one another as you round all the way up towards the ceiling. And then find that length through the front of your torso. Again, opening through the sitting bones. And then round your spine up towards the ceiling. And then back out. And last one. Good, and then you're gonna find yourself in a nice neutral here. You're gonna slide your right foot out, and then your left. Find your plank, elbows are soft. They are not hyperextended. Look over that imaginary cliff, and then pull yourself back. And then see the cliff, and back. You're like, I don't think I wanna go down there. For 4, 3, 2, hips gently tucked under. Last one, come back. I'm gonna drop to my knees. You can do your push-ups on your feet, should you choose. Elbows gently back by your sides, and press up. Inhale down, exhale. Think like your breath is helping press you away from the floor. 4 more. Tailbone gently tucked under, narrowed through the sitting bones. 2. Last one. And then again, sit back into that modified child's pose. Find a little bit of extra width across that back. Press down into the block. And then roll yourself all the way up. You're gonna bring your block, place it out of the way, grab your ball, and I will start on my right side. So you're just gonna come, move over from the wall a little. You're just gonna come to sit directly on top of the ball with your right glute. And you can have your leg open, long, bent, whatever feels nice for you. Somewhere in between is what I enjoy. And you're just gonna roll from north to south. Staying on that right butt cheek, not rolling over any bones really. Maybe your sitting bone you'll get a little bit. And back. 1 or 2 more times. Good, bring it a little bit closer toward your sacrum. I go up and down 2 or 3 times here on that inner edge closer to your sacrum. And then you can even twist your body a little bit. You're gonna come towards the outside edge of your glute, closer to that hip on the right side. And then if it feels good, I need to rotate my ball. You're gonna come east-west. So you're gonna go from the sacrum to the hip. Sacrum to the hip. 1 or 2 more times. Good. And lower all the way down. Extend your legs out long. And then just check in with your legs. Maybe your right leg is a little bit closer to the ground. You have more of that thigh on the floor. Reach your arms out, and you're just going to do a nice little spine stretch forward here. Think that someone is holding your torso back, and you're just up and over that beach ball. Stack your spine up nice and tall. Grab the ball and switch sides. So again, starting north-south now on your left glute. More or less in the center. Again, make sure you're not squeezing your glute as you're trying to roll over it. That makes it very unpleasant, but also pretty ineffective. And then slide a little bit closer to that sacrum. Good. Highly recommend, if you have the ball, to roll out your feet, your glutes, your hamstring, your calves as often as feels good, or you can. Feet, like every day, is great, especially if you walk a lot to commute, or you just walk a lot, you stand as a human being. You're now closer to that hip on your left side. And then take it and turn it if you need, and you're going to go left and right just a couple of times. Again, trying not to tense up that glute. Last one. Good. And then place that down. You're going to bring your legs in front of you, move the ball out to the side. Legs slightly wider than hip distance. Again, check in. See, maybe you're able to sit up a little bit taller than normal. Arms reach forward, and then again, just spine stretch forward. And then let yourself relax forward, let your head release, and then peel yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Reach your arms out to the side, lift them up, externally rotate, press down with the arms as you grow nice and tall, and let your arms come down by your side, and you are all finished. Thanks.